And day 2 of our Devastation spoilers. We have another god. We have a mythic rare Minotaur zombie. We have a new Hydra. We have a desert. We have a bunch of stuff to talk about. But let's go over the big one. Let's go over the Locust god. Now we have 3 gods in Amonkhet. 3 gods in Amonkhet. We have the Scorpion god. We have the Locust god, and we still have our 3rd unnamed god. Whatever creature you might be able to think of, it might be. I'm thinking a tarantula or something like that, seeing as these guys all seem to be based around insects, or, insectoid arachnids, whatever. The Locust God is the blue-red one. Now, the Locust God is a 4/4 for 6 mana, 1 blue, 1 red, 4 of any color. Legendary creature god. Mythic, flying. Makes sense, Locust. Whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect or creature token with flying and haste. You may pay 2 of any color, 1 blue, 1 red, 4 mana, draw a card, then discard a card. And as always with these gods, if you kill it, it will turn to your opponent's. If it dies, it will return to your hand at the beginning of the end step, beginning of the next end step. So it's a really, the evasion alone makes it solid. That being said, it's whenever you draw a card. So every turn, you're always going to be getting at least one. It's like draw, drop, draw, drop. So that's always going to be a thing. Obviously, it allows you to make more of these guys. If you're running something like Parallel Lives or the white or the white equivalent of that came out in Amonkhet, great. If you got token production, like populates, cloning ability, things along those lines, it'll work out well for that. Because it's red-blue, I'm not really surprised that there's a discard clause along with the blue one. But at least it's draw then discard, not discard and draw. Because I don't like that variation of it. Because what if you discard something you probably could have used and then you draw something you don't need at this point? Instead of drawing something you don't need at this point and then discarding a card. Because you can honestly just choose to discard a card you drew if you don't like it. Do I like it more than the Scorpion God? It's going to be getting hits in a lot easier because it can fly. The flying is a big thing. It is more expensive and it is weaker than the Scorpion God, though. But it also gives you flying bodies, which can come in and attack immediately. So I don't know. It's a tit for tat situation. Like if we were to put these 2 gods head to head against each other, the Scorpion God probably would come out on top because the Scorpion God can actually put -1/-1 counters on things and then draw a card because of that. So, but this card gives you draw. They're about equal, I'd say. If I pulled either of these guys, I'd be in those colors for the pre-release, absolutely. Because I'm like, okay, I got a bomb mythic rare god I'm going to be playing, so I'm going to have to develop the deck around that at least. But no, it's a good card. The gods seem to be real. They seem to be pretty well pushed. Not super pushed, but pushed just enough. Let's see. We have, and I'm going to try to pronounce this name right. Ramunap Hydra. A 3/3, 3 of any color, 2 green, 4 costing Hydra. 1 green, 3 of any color, 3/3. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. If you control a desert, it gets +1/+1. If you have a desert in graveyard, it gets +1/+1. So seeing it, the great limited card, because no matter what, in limited, in a pre-release, a sealed draft, you're probably going to have a desert or 2. So you're going to control at least 1 desert, meaning you will be able to you'll always at least have this thing as a 4/4 that comes out on turn 4, more likely, with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. So it can block your flyers, it doesn't tap, so it'll always be there to block, and it can run over stuff. That being said, if you're using the cycling deserts, which I can see you using, especially if you decide to make a desert deck, which I might do, depending on how many of these cards I get, then it becomes a 5/5 for 4 mana. It's a solid card. Here's the thing, even as a 3/3 for 4, it's Vigilance, Reach, Trample, 3/3 for 4. It's still a fine card in its own right. It's just that it's easy to make it a 4/4. It's a little trickier to make it a 5/5. You gotta get a desert in the graveyard. But with the amount of discard that exists in these formats and the cycling and things along those lines, we have cycling deserts. It's nowhere near impossible. This is a solid card. Again, if I had it, I'd use it. Neheb the Eternal. Now, Neheb was a rare Minotaur legendary creature from the last set. Now it's a mythic rare Minotaur, fully red, as the last one was, I believe, white red or green red. It was still red. Is 4/6 2 red, 3 of any color. So 5 mana, 2 red, 3 of any color, 4/6 with a flick 3. I believe a flick. Yeah, sorry, yeah, a flick 3. So for those of you who don't remember what a flick does, recap. If it's blocked, it'll do 3 damage. Otherwise, it's going to swing in and deal 4. Now, at the beginning of at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, so after combat, add 1 red mana to your mana pool for each 1 life your opponent lost this turn. This card is, I mean, I don't know. Here's the thing. This is the perfect card for playing like super fatty things after the fact, because you swing, you'll block, assuming it's not dead, which with a 6 butt, it's going to be hard to kill this thing. So let's say you swing and you block. That's a minimum of 3 damage. You'll have a 3 extra red mana to play. But let's be clear. In the shell that you're probably playing this in, you're playing other cards. If you can get anywhere from 5 to 7 damage in between in between those for a turn, you're pretty much going to be able to play anything in your deck. Now the question is, what do you spend those things on? You carry a couple X costing burn spells or something, you're good to go. I don't know, carry a Super Hydra, big fatty X Hydra, carry a big old draws. You think the sky's your limit on this, so have fun with it. I saw a combo apparently with I don't remember. It's basically paying to get an extra combat step. Theoretically, there's an infinite combo if you can get enough damage going on. So no, it's a solid card, usable card. I don't know how I'd use it, but I could definitely see me using it. So Scavenger Grounds, Desert, rare. Now, when there's no longer traces of flesh, the curse of wandering is ever. Then the dead can rest. So basically, we see a giant worm skeleton in a desert. Scavenger Ground, tap for 1 colorless mana. Pay 2 of any color. Tap this, sacrifice desert. Exile all cards from graveyards. So, good way to get rid of, Eternals or embalmed creatures, things along those lines. Graveyard Hoser, but other than that, though, it's only serving for a little bit of colorless mana. So, Swarm Intelligence. Now, the flavor text on this I find odd, and I say that because it says, the children of the Locust God were countless and devoted to the defense of the city. Supposedly, the Locust God is one of the 3 gods that are going to be wreaking havoc. Now, maybe this is a false sense of security kind of thing. False lull, but who knows exactly? I would imagine no, but who knows? Point being though, whenever you cast an instance or sorcery spell, enchantment, you may copy that spell and choose a new target for it. That sounds amazing and awesome. Unfortunately, it costs 7 mana. 1 blue is 6 of any color. Now, these cards are clearly designed more like for a commander statement format than anything. Just because in a normal type of any environment, really, this jar is just way too flippin' expensive. If you had decreased it maybe by 2 mana, made it instead cost 5. Honestly, I could even see 6. It might have been able to find some like late game if you're like holding on to some like burn spells and then boom, 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 boom. But at 7 mana, it's a great ability, but it's just not worth the price in my mind. I'm a blue guy who loves to copy and play big fatty creatures. Doesn't work for me, unfortunately. Next card, however, does very much work for me. Fraying Santee, 2 of any color, 1 blue. Enchantment, Aura, Curse. At the beginning of each end step, enchanted player puts the top X cards of his or her library into the graveyard, where X is the total number of cards put into his or her graveyard from anywhere this turn. As a guy who has 1 or 2 mill decks, I love this card because it doesn't say when a creature dies, when a card goes from the battlefield to the graveyard. It is when a card goes to the graveyard from anywhere. Which means as a mill player, I'll play my, I believe it's Tome Scour. I'll play 5 cards into your graveyard. Maybe I'll play an extra card, get something else in the graveyard. 6 cards went to your graveyard. Guess what? Top 6 cards of your deck go down. Okay, next turn I'm going to play Jace the Memory Adept. 10 cards going off the top of your deck into your graveyard. Another 10 cards going off the top of your deck into your graveyard. I love this card so much. I can definitely see me putting this into a couple decks. It's cool. It's just saying screw you to everyone. So I dig it. I dig it a lot. Solemnity. No, Solemnity. Yeah, Solemnity. That's a terrible name to pronounce. 2 of any color, 1 white. Enchantment. Players can't get counters. Counters can't be put on artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or lands. I've got a couple decks that would this would screw up so bad. But at the same time, this will screw up a lot of opponents, especially a lot of decks in this format right now, because -1 counters are a big thing. The +1 counters from the last set are a big thing. Little spoiler for the next set, nothing major. +1 counters will be coming back in the next set. So, I mean, it's very. I mean, we didn't have those giant leaks, and it's not a big spoiler. It's because it's like rotational. They'll go counter by counter. Because when you think about it, +1 counters were in Battle for Zendikar. I think there were some. Were there some in? Yeah, we've had +1 counters for a while, and then we get a -1 counter. They don't do them back to back. They kind of spread it out a bit, but they will usually try to even it out as best they can. But yeah, +1 counters are back again. So yeah, it's definitely a card that will screw things, especially if you design a deck that doesn't need counters involved. Then you got. Now I do find it interesting that it does say no planeswalkers. It does not specify planeswalkers, and I think that's fair. Because we have Oketre basically here dead. Or at least I'm pretty sure she's dead. And then I saw someone mention on a forum like Dark Deaths. When you think about it, maybe because the card comes out with counters on it, but you can't get counters. So the card's counter ability is negated, ergo, you can pretty much sacrifice it outright and get a 20/20 indestructible flying Leviathan token, avatar creature. I don't know, but maybe. But anyway, Crook of Condemn... Oh, man, all these words for some reason. Condemnation. There we go. Condemnation. 2 of any color. Tap 1. Exile target card from a graveyard. Excuse me. Pay 1. Tap this card. Exile target card from a graveyard. Alright. Pay 1. Exile this card. Exile all cards from all graveyards. Okay. It's... The graveyard hate is fine. I think it's a little overdone because they seem to be assuming that, hey, yeah, the graveyard's going to be a big thing. It's still a big thing. It's like, yeah, with Embalm, I guess. But it's not like we're taking every Embalm card and making decks out of it. So, but no, I mean, that's all the cards for now. Maybe a couple more will drop when I get home, but I'll save those for tomorrow's video. Until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win? Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel. Put in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do a review of it at some point. Now, it turns out Transformers actually comes out tomorrow. So, I'm actually going to catch it tomorrow, which means I don't have to do shit on Thursday. So, I'm kind of happy for that. And I'm not going to catch a pre-screening tonight because I can't. That's just not true. I could probably see like a 3D or something. I just don't want to spend money on Transformers movie that much. Plus, I have work earlier tomorrow, so it just wouldn't work out well. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. There will be a Who Would Win. There will still be a What If on Thursday, and the Magic throughout the week. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.